Well, hello everybody. Um, I'm just here at the house today. It's Friday evening, lunchtime today. I called an equipment rental company. And said, you know what? I wonder how much it'd be to rent a stump grinder. I've been looking at buying stump grinders, and I've never run one before, so I don't know what's good, what's bad. Don't know how to use one. So I said, you know what? I need to learn how to use one. I need to have something to practice on, if they're not too much. So a stump grinder, pretty much a good homeowner grade stump grinder, is about $2,000. And I was like, well, I have a bunch of stumps. It's probably going to be worth it just to buy a stump grinder. Well, it's not going to be as good as the grade you're going to get renting. And so I've never rented equipment before. I've always just used my own equipment or bought the tool I need and used it. So I don't really rent equipment. Figure if I have a tool for or a job for it, I need to go buy it. But a stump grinder is another engine. And I bought a chipper shredder, and it just turned out to be useless. Never use it. So anyway, I didn't want another engine. I wanted to see how these things ran, and it's pretty good. I'm pretty impressed. So I had a big old stump here beside the woodshed. Just to give you an idea, I built the woodshed farther down because of this stump. So ultimately, it's going to be kind of an experimental piece. So I figured, you know what, this stump's been here forever. I need to get rid of it. It's been here since at least 2017. No stump. No stump. None at all. Now all I did was cut that thing down about 2 inches into the ground. There was another stump up the hill up there I just took care of. And I mean, that thing was 18 inches wide. Took me maybe half an hour of just going back and forth with the stump grinder. Well, I'm going to show you the stump grinder if I can get this thing to turn around here. That's the stump grinder right there. I mean, this thing is a beast. But anyway, it has the little fingers on it that cuts into the soil. I've got another stump, and that stump right there has been a bother to me for not as long as the other one, maybe 6 years. But now, granted, I cut it off about 2 inches from the ground before I start grinding them. And the fella at the store told me to dig around it, make sure just a little bit, make sure that there's no rocks or whatever, because rock will tear up the teeth. And so anyway, when I called him, I was thinking, Lord have mercy, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be at least $500. And he said, well, if you rent it for one day over the weekend, you rent it for Saturday, you bring it back Monday. Now I only get the hours that's a lot of the machine, so I get this thing for 10 hours. But now I have 2 days to use it. So I can use it, and today's Friday, I'm using it. So I really got 2.5 days I'm using it. I picked it up at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So anyway, I've already ground out 2 stumps this evening. It's 8 o'clock. I didn't get started till 7. And they were good sized stumps getting in my way. This one I'll cut off tomorrow, grind it down. And I've got several more up there. I've got five stumps at a rental property I need to take care of, and some stumps out in the middle of my field where I'm trying to reclaim the field. So anyway, I've got a lot of stumps to remove. I've got a whole fence line full, but I'm not going to get into that this weekend, I don't think. So I've got 10 hours of run time with this thing. 10 hours of run time is a long time. So if I have all weekend to use that 10 hours of run time, I'm going to get it. But if I only had one day to use 10 hours of run time, I don't think I'd get it. So anyway, I've got 5 or 6 more stumps to take care of here, which I'm going to do. I'm going to take it to the rental property, take care of 5 or 6 stumps there. Take it to the land, take care of as many as I can get to there. And it was well worth it. It was $250. $250 to rent a stump grinder. And I was thinking about $2,000 to buy one that's not as good as this one, but I have to deal with the engine. I was all against renting equipment for the longest time. This thing came with a trailer to haul it. All I had to do is back my truck up, hitch it up, and go. And I got to return it full gas, but you know, that's all right. So we're good here. This is good. I'm probably going to start renting some other equipment instead of junking up my place with more equipment than I need. Like a stump grinder, man. I'm going to have stumps forever. But if I just let a bunch of them pile up, rent a stump grinder on the weekend once every 5 years, well, that's better than buying one in my book. So if I rent one once every 5 years, let's say it's $250. Let's say by the time I'm all said and done, I'm $2,500, taxes and all, into a pretty good piece of equipment. I can rent that 10 times. If I'm renting it every 5 years, it takes me 50 years to pay for that stump grinder. It just doesn't make sense. So I don't plan on doing tree work for my entire life. I plan on getting my farm to where it needs to be and being done with it. So I think I'm going to enjoy this. Now I may rent it again next year just to get caught up on all the ones I've lost out on the last 10 years. But with this piece of property where I live, I can get all the stumps off of it, I'm good. So I'm gonna try to get all of them I can here and at the rental property. And if I can get it over to the farm, that's just a bonus. And $250, no experience needed. Just a little tip for the homestead. Have a good one.